What the fuck?
What's going on, guys? Big Al's Bike and Auto coming at you, and we are doing the input and output sensors on the 1990 Dodge Dynasty I just picked up from the auction for 225 bucks. It seems that most of you, including myself, think this is the reason the car will not shift at a first. So I already went ahead and took out the, I believe this one's the output, and toward the back of the engine. Definitely easier to get to the one in the back here if you have it up on ramps. You can see underneath the car. Here's the transmission pan. So looking up above the transmission pan, that's the connector I just undid, and there's the hole. So don't get confused with this one here or this one here, because I sure as hell almost did. Up above the pan, and that's where that one comes out. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the new one in now, and I'll show you in a minute where the other one is located. All right, guys, so I'm up top now. You don't have to remove all the things that I did. I just wanted to give you guys a better view of where this thing is. But it certainly does give you a little more room. And just to give you an idea where this is, we are looking at the top of the engine, going to the right. You can see I've got the airbox tube off, looking straight down, just to the right of the transmission fluid dipstick there. That's my wrench, obviously. The two little brackets there. Just underneath them is the input sensor, and it's a 1-inch socket to get both of these off. So I'm going to go ahead and finish taking this one out now, put the new one in, and we'll see if this worked. Alright, so I got everything back together. If you look down here, there is the new input sensor. There is the new output sensor. I haven't driven it yet. We're going to go ahead and take it out now. Everybody cross your fingers. Let's hope for the best. We should have a working speedometer now. At least hopefully a working transmission. And if not that, I'm going to scream. Let's see what happens here. Drive. Did it just shift? It shifts! Yeah, baby! Yeah! Speedometer's not working. Woo-hoo! Yeah! Oh yeah, now we're talking! So I also need to get that, what are you laughing at, babe?
It was such a sudden change.
Well, I'm just, I gotta do the video here. There is a third speed sensor if you look up for these cars, and perhaps that's what it needs to get that speedometer working again. But you know what? I'm just happy it's shifting and driving. Speedometer certainly would be nice, but we can get that working in the near future. So anyway, guys, we're gonna take this thing for a little bit of a drive, just make sure it continues to work as it should, and we'll catch back with you in a minute here. All right, guys, so you saw earlier in the video, yesterday evening, we got the Dynasty shifting. I'm still having one issue you saw, and I did a little bit more research, but wasn't getting too far with it, and that's that the speedometer is not working still. Now, if I remember correctly, I believe it's the output sensor that controls the speedometer, and the input controls the shifting. I'm sure they all kind of help each other. Maybe they both do it, the shifting, but from what I saw online, the output sensor is the one setting the pulse that gives the speedometer the reading of the speed. So I'm going to put this up on ramps one more time and just make sure that I plugged it in nice and snug and that the sensor's in there nice and tight. But I figure I'd take you out here and show you the car in broad daylight. It is beautiful. I love the finish. Not a perfect car by any means, because there's plenty of dents in the hood. Most of those I'm sure could be worked out. But, this is a $300-something car. It's still very presentable. I'm going to get a few things to make it much nicer, but stuff like that, unless somebody wants to come over here and help me work those dents out, I'll probably just leave it alone. I want to either get this peeling chrome off or maybe just stick some new chrome. What is this, like a clear coat almost? You see this clear coat's peeling off on here. I'll probably just cut it off. Really can't tell too much of a difference. You know, you notice this peeling off more than you do it missing entirely. Get that peeling clear coat off. Well, there's some of it right now. I want to get these Dynasty badges that fell off in the back. It looks like there were some chrome badges there. So get those and stick those back on. I'm sure they're on eBay. Back here you can see a little more peeling and a little touch-up needed. I could probably find this color on eBay or Dr. Color Chip. Just touch this up. Same thing over here. This is the worst of the damage on the car. This door was dented. You don't really notice it. What you notice is the trim hanging off because of it. So that's because the dent is right where the trim is. So I'll have to re-adhese this with some 3M. And I don't think you're going to notice it too much. It's much more noticeable because it's hanging off. And the other side, it's missing these little Dodge center caps. So I'm going to have to get some of those off of eBay. But I vacuumed the inside yesterday, and it looks fantastic. It's in great shape. I have that wood trim piece in the trunk that fell off, so I'll have to re-glue that back on. But what a beautiful interior, in excellent condition. This car was definitely, well, I wouldn't say this car was taken care of, but the interior certainly held up. Dashboard could use some Armor All to kind of blend in this faded area with the area where the color's still good. A beautiful, beautiful interior in great shape. Back seat looks like it was never even sat in. Headliner's sagging a bit in the back. You can see someone had thumbtacks holding it up. Oh, I didn't even notice this. Pretty inventive system back here with the clips and tacks. Very common thing in these older vehicles. I'm very used to it. Quite a few of mine have this problem. I'll probably just re-tack it up in the center there and I'll be fine for now. A lot of you were commenting about the sunroof. It is a nice feature. You can see the strippings kind of coming out of it a little bit, but it doesn't appear to be leaking, which is good. Probably won't mess with that, leave it closed, deal with that in the summer. I don't think I'm going to sell this car. I really like it. I love the way it looks. I like its uniqueness, and we've all been saying in the comments of the previous video, when was the last time you saw a K car, especially in this condition? You don't see them too often anymore, despite the fact that 20, 30 years ago, these cars were all over the road. I remember seeing these things years ago all over the road, and I haven't seen one in years. So I'd like to keep it in my collection, knowing that it'll be safe and well cared for. Here's that good old reliable 3.3. Runs pretty well. Needs that exhaust leak fixed, obviously. I'm hoping it's just a small split somewhere in the muffler I can patch up. If not a big deal. It's not too expensive to swap out a muffler or a section of pipe. But otherwise, the car is in good shape mechanically underneath here. Looks like this radiator was replaced at some point. You can see the coolant is nice and clean. I haven't touched that at all. That's how the car came. So we know that the cooling system isn't compromised. It's not leaking or anything. And it's not rusty inside, which is surprising considering this car was not well maintained otherwise. The oil was terrible and, you know, a few other things. But let's go ahead and start it up. I have all the floor mats in this car too. They're in my garage. I gave them a good cleaning and they're just drying out. Ugh. Fires right up. You definitely hear that exhaust leak. You got the little information center over here telling us the door is open. The radio I can't get to turn on. Perhaps it's a fuse. I haven't looked into that much yet. It's obviously pretty easy to diagnose. The heat works excellent, which is great. This car unfortunately did not come with the owner's manual. Here's some fuses right here. 20 for the radio. Got the ashtray, looks like it's been used at some point, but the car doesn't smell inside, which is nice. Get that nice sunroof, let in some natural light. One thing I love about this car are the door panels, and they actually feel very high quality. This handle especially, these handles, when you open the door, they feel very solid, and that's surprising. Nice clunk when you close the door. Power locks still work. Power windows still work. Even the power seats. I just noticed that I was moving the car at the speedometer is trying to come up. Kind of see it shaking there a little bit. I don't want to go out in the roads because I salted heavily last night. But I'm going to try to get it up over 10 miles an hour in my driveway here and see if it... Hey, it is working. Look at that. That's weird. It wasn't working last night. You saw in the video, but now it's working. Now the odometer still isn't working. I assume that's inside the cluster. I need to change the little gear. It's a common issue with older Explorers. I've had to change a few of those in the past. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this one. Another car saved from the junkyard by one bid. And I do this for the love of cars, especially for this era of vehicles, the 80s and 90s cars, what I grew up around, what I love. And while a lot of people just see these as old clunkers, I have a real obsession for them. I'm sure you can tell, I've got them everywhere. These cars are excellent cars, not just K cars, these old GM front-wheel drives. They're some of the best cars you can buy, in my opinion, because they have so much class and character and a cool factor. Yet they're very inexpensive, they're very easy to maintain and repair. I mean, look at this car. We changed 2 sensors for $40 and now it's working perfectly. So don't be afraid to go out there, hop on Craigslist, go to your local auction, find yourself a cool old classic like this, and you can't get hurt on them. For $365, you know I can't get hurt on this car. Anyway guys, that's gonna do it. Thanks for watching. I'm going to have plenty more content on this car as I continue to do some minor improvements to it. And of course the others. We'll get to that Sentry over there eventually. The Malibu way back there. Got to do something with the head gasket on that one. And the A-body wagon. I bought all the parts to get that thing running right. We'll get to it. The weather isn't so great this time of year, so it's easier to go out and buy cars than it is to be out here working on them. So plenty more content coming soon, including the Cadillac DeVille you've all been asking me about. I'll be doing a video on that real soon. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for the next one.